My name is Lafayette Herard. I'm a senior at UMass Amherst. I'm my last semester here, and I'm a BFA art major in animation. I would draw like the characters I'd see on my TV screen, like from Cartoon Network shows and also anime, like Goku, Naruto, those kind of characters. I just draw them from TV screen to my pen and paper pencil drawing, really. And then I just kind of done that from elementary to middle school to high school. And then it was really during my art classes in my high school, like senior year, sophomore year, junior year, that I really thought I wanted to pursue animation towards my college experience. But I really chose UMass Amherst because I feel like this college had like the most fleshed out art program here and also the most diversity and class choice for the art department as well. I think UMass has a great art community here actually. I've always found it, for me it's always fun like at the beginning of semesters to figure out and learn like every new student's art style, what kind of art they make. So I feel like everybody has their own kind of sense of style and like nuance to the kind of art style. You can kind of learn from the way they create art, from how they, stroke their brush strokes or how they make a certain animation feel more fluid to them respectively. Like everybody has their own kind of style you can kind of like learn from in a way at UMass, which is cool. I think Black History Month is a great month. My favorite month, honestly, if I'm being honest. But I do really just like the idea of it's a month like Black people, Black culture, and Black artists to just have a month to showcase what they make and to showcase to the world how what they make can influence others and why what they make is important. I feel like this month is a time for just artists, writers, thinkers, whatever, to just kind of showcase what kind of history they have, their background they have, the ideals they have, and also the hopes and wishes they have into the things they make. For Black artists I look up to or I'm inspired from, I say there's two that comes to mind the most. I'd say on Instagram I follow this artist, I've been following him for a while now. His name is Nicholas Draper Ivy. He's this New York-based comic artist that creates really cool Afro-futuristic Black character designs for his comics. And he recently worked on the recent rendition of the Black, Static Shock superhero. He worked on that also, which I found out really cool. And there's this other Black artist I know of. You might know him as well. His name is Kehinde Wiley. He made that really popular Barack Obama portrait with Barack Obama sitting on a chair with a green array of flora and leaves and bushes behind him. He's just this really like masterful painter that creates these really like colorful and vibrant paintings. I just get just looking at his work. But he is really good. I like his work a lot. I think the reason why my main medium is animation is because I'm not glad I do like action, and I like the way that shows I've watched growing up have expressed movement, action, character expression, behavior, and just character performances in general. And I feel like with animation, it's like kind of my own way of just creating a whole new world with my own characters, my own story to tell. Like I can create any kind of scenario or narrative I want through animation. It's like my own device for storytelling in a way. That's also visually clear. I feel like in the animation industry and also in the entertainment space within animation, there's not a lot of representation with Black characters and Black casts in animation. So I feel like growing up, I kind of realized like that most of the cartoons I'd watch on TV would have casts full of white characters, but not really any Black characters. So I kind of over the past couple years been trying to just create art with more create the designs really that had more Black characters and more Black kind of centered concepts within my art, so that I can kind of create that representation for Black people, for myself, and for my friends and family as well. But my themes with my art kind of varies depending on the animation or short story I make. So my animation process, this is my demo reel showing right now. It's what the studios I apply for see, but our process involves with animation, I do like a rough sketch or rough outline of the character movement, like simple circles, squares, limbs, to get the movement down. After I get the movement down, I go in with line art and add in the more finer details like hair movement, cloth movement, pants movement, t-shirt movement. Then afterwards, after the line art's in, I add in the color. After the color is compositing, and after compositing, it's just really, yeah, you're done after that. I take inspiration from a lot of things actually. I'm kind of like a sponge in that sense. Like, I take inspiration from the most, probably from the TV shows I watch, like live action shows, and probably from also somewhat like current events as well. I take influence from as well. So this animation is called Get Back Up, and the story involves a boy who he walks outside his house into his backyard and he figures out that his hat is stuck in a tree. So he's like, how do I get my hat out of a tree? And so he tries to throw a rock at the hat, but that fails. And so after he fails, he gets sad. He's like, how do I get my hat out of the tree? And I threw this rock, but it didn't hit the hat, so I'm kind of sad that failed. So basically, he gives up until his dog comes back with a bat and ball, suggesting that he uses the bat and ball to get the hat out the tree, which he does so and succeeds. And I made this animation because I remember growing up, whenever I tried to draw something that's a little more complicated, like hands or a full body pose, I'd often struggle drawing that, and I get frustrated at myself for not being able to draw that. But over time, I realized that the only way to actually grow with art or anything in general is just to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. And so with this animation, kind of reflecting my own like childhood self and how like I'd make mistakes, get frustrated at it, but eventually I learned that in order to grow, I have to learn from my mistakes and that it's okay to fail in order to eventually succeed in the long term. Well, for my thesis project I'm working on this year, it's not really a current event but a past event. I'm working on an animation that kind of delves into the history and past of Haiti and how that country's been exploited by certain first world nations like the US. But with that animation, I really wanted to just shed light upon the ways that greed has just kind of harmed these kind of countries and how it really just stunted stunted Haiti's growth in general, and why the nation is at where it's at today because of the repercussions of certain foreign nations' colonialism inside the country. This animation will be a fictional story that kind of hints at historical events regarding Haiti and the U.S. and France, which will make you, the viewer, kind of draw connections as to what's happening in the story and how it relates to the past and also current world events as well. I really like when like animations or just shows in general entertain the viewer, but also kind of educate the viewer at the same time by making them realize through like a visual medium why they should care about something or why they should invest time into learning about something they don't know about. And I feel like with animation, it's a really convenient medium because once you have the viewer engaged, that's a chance to kind of educate them on what they could be learning or how what they know could actually be wrong because of what they learned in the past. Really, I'd say after UMass, it'd be great if I could work at like a high IP studio like Sony Picture Animations to have that chance to work at Spider-Verse, or to work at Studio Powerhouse to have a chance to work on films like Castlevania. But besides that, I'm only open to working at any studio really inside the US. But also really cool to also have the chance to work on a new like I guess show or film with a whole like black cast and centered black story around it. It'd be cool to make character designs or character animation for that kind of story as well.